If Busta ever try to front me, hit you with no delay. So what you saying, yo? Silly with that 9 milli, what the devil, yo? Yeah, I do his shit better than him. He better not play with me. I will and perform Busta Rhymes show. Cause look, man, if they try to say that if you ever thought that the Busta Rhymes was better than me, you crazy. You crazy, man. You just looking at this shit the wrong way.
50, I'm coming for your ass, bruh. Be careful.
Things just got wild in the rap world. 50 Cent threw some serious shade at Busta Rhymes, and trust, Busta didn't seem too happy about it. It's no secret that rap beefs can flip friendships into full-blown rivalries in no time. While some fans are laughing it off, thinking it's all just playful roasting, others are side-eyeing the whole thing, wondering if there's real tension bubbling underneath. And when you hear what's been said, it's hard not to wonder if they're crossing a line and low-key disrespecting each other's legacies.
50 also know I'm not gonna stop. The same way he not gonna stop, I'm not gonna stop.
Let's get into it. 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes, two absolute legends in the game, are at it again, trading shots in the spotlight. This time, it all popped off after Busta pulled a move on stage that had jaws dropping. During a stop on the 50's final lap tour in St. Paul, Minnesota, Busta took things way too far in the middle of performing his hit, I Know What You Want. Picture this, Busta on stage, gripping his mic a little too close to his lower half, rocking a bold smirk that had folks in the crowd gasping. He started rubbing the mic in a way that looked way too suggestive, and that was just the beginning. In true Busta fashion, known for pushing the envelope, he looked straight at the crowd and said, "Baby, if you give it to me, then..." He stuck out his tongue and gave a look that made it pretty clear he was hinting at something explicit going down after the show. That whole wild moment was caught on camera by At The Fit Prodigy, and of course, it went viral in minutes.
You give it to me.
The internet lit up with reactions. Some people were flat out shocked, calling his moves out of pocket and super inappropriate. Others, they were hyped, clapping for Busta's boldness and saying he's just doing what he's always done, being raw and unfiltered on stage. Now enter 50 Cent. He saw the whole thing and wasted no time chiming in with a response that had people buzzing even more. He roasted Busta for the onstage antics, and while some say it's just jokes, others think 50 was seriously throwing jabs. With all this heat flying back and forth, folks are wondering, are they just messing around, or is this the start of a real feud between two rap icons? Stay tuned because it's getting messy and fast. The whole thing blew up fast. People couldn't stop talking about it. Debates kicked off all over the place about what counts as art and when performance just crosses into straight up nasty territory. But leave it to 50 Cent, the king of trolling and never one to bite his tongue, to jump in and turn the drama all the way up. 50 saw his shot and took it, posting that viral video of Busta's wild mic move straight to his own Instagram. And he didn't just repost it, he roasted Busta in classic 50 style. His caption dripped with sarcasm. "Busta stole this move from me. I used to do this magic stick 10 years ago, LOL. Now it just feels dirty, inappropriate, unnecessary. Elma." He even joked that the whole thing was giving your old uncle at the barbecue that won't go sit down energy. That line alone had the internet cracking up. And guess what? 50's fans were all in. The comment section went crazy with folks clowning Busta left and right. Tons of people said they were shocked to see a rap legend like him acting out like that on stage. They said it felt weird, out of pocket, and just plain embarrassing. Some folks didn't hold back at all, calling him a dirty old man and questioning if he should even be doing stuff like that at his age, especially when he's a dad of 6. People weren't just mad, they were confused. Like, why would Busta even go there? With all the cameras rolling and fans watching every move, it felt like a risky play for someone who's been in the game so long. But here's the twist. Busta didn't fire back with a diss. Nope. He actually laughed it off and dropped a bunch of laughing emojis in 50's comments. That move alone showed he wasn't taking it too seriously. For now, it looks like the two are keeping it playful and not letting things spiral into real beef. And this isn't the first time they've been clowning each other either. Turns out, this little roast session is just another episode in a long string of back and forths between the two while on tour. Just recently, a backstage video from a show in Charlotte, North Carolina showed them joking around like brothers, proving that even when things get spicy, there might still be some respect behind the scenes. But still, folks are watching closely, One wrong move and this might not stay so friendly.
Oh, man.
Tell that ain't too big. He ain't got no friends. They're not telling him.
50 Cent was back at it again, throwing playful shots at Busta Rhymes, this time clowning him for rocking a chain so massive it looked like it had its own zip code. In a behind-the-scenes video that surfaced online, 50 didn't hold back. With singer Davido also chilling in the dressing room, 50 pointed at Busta's bling and cracked, "Man, your chain too big. You need some real friends to tell you the truth." The room instantly erupted with laughter. Busta, who's always been known for his wild sense of humor, took it like a champ. He didn't get mad. He busted out laughing right along with 50. The energy between them was pure comedy, and for a minute it felt like two brothers just roasting each other for fun. Even though 50 keeps coming with the jokes, it's clear there's still some real love and respect between the two, and they're not the only ones feeling the vibe. Waka Flocka Flame jumped in with a bold request. He tweeted that 50 and Busta need to drop a joint album. He said the culture's begging for it and told them not to let their crazy tour schedule be the excuse to dodge it. While nobody's confirmed if it's actually happening, fans and fellow rappers are hyped at the idea of these two heavyweights teaming up on a full project. Now, despite all the laughs and friendly fire, things took a turn when 50 decided to up the heat. He went from roasting Busta's jewelry to throwing shade at Busta's stage presence. During an interview, 50 made a bold claim. He said he's a better performer than Busta Rhymes, and he didn't stop there. He started quoting Busta's 1997 classic, "Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See," and basically said he could outdo Busta at his own show.
Put your hands better than me. Yeah. So do me a favor, right, Spade? You would look at and listen what you're saying, yo? That was it right there. Now, Fifth, I'm gonna tell you for real. When you do it this time, you gotta get low with the mix.
Then he hit him with a warning, "Don't play with me." The audacity.
I do it on stage. I don't know. Now you want me to do it how he do it. I see the way I do it. I want to see the breath control everything. I want to see you do it. No, that's when you when I'm in the shower. I'm Busta Rhymes. That's not how I do it in the shower.
Right after that bold claim, a video montage played showing 50 performing on his final lap tour, doing his signature move with his hand bobbing up and down on beat. He clearly thought he had the stage game on lock, but Busta wasn't about to let that slide. He clapped back hard, and he did it on Instagram with a response that had people rolling. He didn't rant or rant, he hit 50 with a hilarious comeback that had fans in the comments choosing sides like it was a rap battle. So now, with all these jabs flying, people are wondering, is this still friendly banter or the beginning of something serious?
I do hit better than him. You better not play with me.
One thing's for sure, when these two legends start going back and forth, the whole rap world tunes in. Busta Rhymes wasn't gonna let 50 Cent get the last laugh. No way. He clapped back in the most savage yet hilarious way possible. Busta dropped a video on Instagram showing 50 doing that now famous hand bobbing move during a performance. You know the one where 50 keeps bouncing his hand up and down like it's a dance move? Well, Busta had jokes.
If you ever thought that the Busta Rhymes was better than me, you crazy. You crazy, man. You just looking at this the wrong way.
Instead of hyping it up, Busta compared the move to fanning a fart. Yeah, he straight up said it looked like 50 was out here trying to air out something funky on stage.
Significant improvement since the way you used to perform back in the day. But if you think doing this all night, looking like you fanning a fart is a better performance than Busta Rhymes, you out your rabbit ass.
And to top it off, he encouraged 50 to keep fanning the fart, making it clear he wasn't impressed and that he still thinks his own stage presence runs circles around 50's.
F50, fanning a fart Ferrari. F50, break it down, fan it down.
Even with all the roasting and slick jokes flying back and forth, Busta still kept it respectful. He gave 50 a shout out, thanking him for bringing him along on what he called the biggest tour in the whole globe.
Hey yo, Fifth, I ain't gonna front. I definitely gotta say thank you for bringing us out on the final lap tour. It's been an incredible experience. And we about to take it overseas and f the whole planet up. But I do want to say to the whole planet, this is the biggest tour in the whole fucking globe.
So yeah, there's competition, but there's also gratitude and some real love under all the trolling. But to really get what's going on between these two, you gotta rewind a bit. This playful feud isn't new, it's been years in the making. Their relationship is layered with collabs, jokes, clashes, and a whole lot of history. These two have been circling around each other in the rap world for a long time. Busta Rhymes first blew up in the early 90s as part of leaders of the new school. His wild energy, one-of-a-kind flow, and that deep, booming voice made him stand out instantly. By the time he went solo, he was already a household name in hip-hop. On the flip side, you've got 50 Cent, born Curtis Jackson, who came up hard in the early 2000s with a gritty, street-heavy sound that hit different. His debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', was a straight-up game-changer. With Dr. Dre and Eminem backing him, 50 skyrocketed to fame almost overnight and carved out his spot as one of the most dominant forces in rap. So when these two icons, both legends in their own right, end up touring together, trading jokes and flexing on each other, it's not just for laughs. It's two giants from different eras locking horns in the most entertaining way possible. Friendly? Sure. But don't get it twisted. Each one's trying to prove they're still the king of the stage. The wild back and forth between 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes didn't just come out of nowhere. This story's been cooking for a minute. Their paths first crossed way back in 2003 when they linked up on the infamous Hail Mary track featured on Eminem's Shady Records mixtape. That collab? Straight fire. It blended Busta's rapid-fire delivery with 50's gritty bars, showing off both of their lyrical skills and locking in their status as hip-hop heavyweights. But that wasn't the only time they joined forces. Fast forward to 2016 and Busta dropped I'm Loco, calling in none other than 50 Cent to bring the heat. The track slapped hard, reminding fans that when these two team up, they don't miss. Their chemistry in the booth was undeniable. They had that raw energy that made the streets listen and the clubs bounce. Now, while their music game was solid, their trolling game on another level. These two have been roasting each other for years and fans eat it up every time. In 2018, 50 posted a picture of Busta and went all the way in with the caption, and the award for the strongest neck in hip-hop goes to Boosta Bustier LOL, Jock should get the strap, let your man Roy. It was jokes, but it lit a fuse. Busta Rhymes wasn't having it. He came back hard, digging up an old-school throwback pic of 50 and dropped a brutal clapback. In the caption, Busta wrote, "Damn, I'm just now peeping all this cause I've been in the lab finishing my album, but I heard you out here acting up, my brother at 50 cents. Your tough guy look got me crying. You out here looking like your bandana stinks. You got that button face energy, rancid face looking. What are you even starting with me for? That's why I'm gonna keep killing you and everybody else on stage. Your whole vibe looked like a deflated tire." Bruh. Busta didn't just clap back, he scorched him. But of course 50 wasn't gonna let that slide. The king of petty came right back with another post because that's just what 50 does. He lives for this kind of digital drama, and when Busta fires shots, he reloads quick. This wasn't beef. It was more like battle rap disguised as Instagram posts. Every jab between them just adds another chapter to their crazy saga. A blend of bars, jokes, throwbacks, and non-stop roasting. And through all the trash talk, one thing's clear. These two legends might clown each other hard, but there's a bond built on history, mutual respect, and a whole lot of competitive fire. This time, 50 Cent turned the drama into a full-blown conspiracy joke, claiming Busta Rhymes and his longtime partner in crime, Big Fendi, were plotting to take him out. In a classic troll move, 50 posted, "At Big Fendi and at Busta Rhymes are trying to have me killed, so I'm going to the UK to lay low LOL. And yeah, he spelled Busta's name wrong on purpose just to add extra sting. But it wasn't just the artist tossing shots. Another rapper watching the whole circus unfold, Casanova, decided to step in. He hit 50 with a private message, basically warning him to chill out before things got too heated. And what did 50 do? You guessed it, he threw that text straight on Instagram for everyone to see. In the post, 50 joked, "Busta gon' gun you up, law." Casanova Row. Then he added, "I'm the original Don Dada around here. Y'all are the new regime." Classic 50, talking slick, stirring the pot, and making sure the world watches every second of it. Now let's be real. 50 and Busta might roast each other like it's a comedy battle, but deep down there's love there. The jabs are jokes, but that friendly vibe doesn't apply to all of 50's rap feuds. Not even close. See, 50 Cent has always been about the smoke. From his come up under the mentorship of the late Jam Master Jay to the explosive drop of Get Rich or Die Tryin', 50 has been clashing with rappers left and right, some funny, some dead serious. And when it comes to bad blood, his feud with former Interscope Records boss Jimmy Iovine stands out. At one point, things seemed cool between them, but that didn't last. It all blew up in 2011 when 50 felt like Interscope was fumbling his music releases. He went straight to Twitter and aired it all out. He tweeted, "Man, I'm not releasing an album. I can't believe Interscope is this messed up right now. I apologize to all my fans." Boom. Mic drop. But he wasn't done. In a move that shocked the whole industry, 50 announced he was about to leak Dr. Dre's next single out of pure frustration. He tweeted, "I love Dre, but I'm putting his next single, Psycho, out tomorrow at 2 o'clock. That was wild. Going after Dre's rollout, that's not just shade, that's industry warfare. So while the Busta Rhymes banter feels like a roast battle between two rap cousins, some of 50's other beefs have gone way deeper. With 50, you never know if he's just cracking jokes or getting ready to blow the roof off something serious. 50 Cent's public meltdown over Interscope Records sent serious shockwaves through the music world. It wasn't just a heated moment, it was a full-blown industry shakeup. Everyone realized real quick, 50 was done playing nice. He was fed up with how the label was treating him, and he felt like they were flat out disrespecting his work. At the center of all this drama, his long-delayed album Street King Immortal. 50 believed Interscope totally dropped the ball on promoting it, and he didn't hold back when it came to letting the world know. During a 2014 interview with Cosmic Kev on Power 99, 50 laid it all out. "Just get me off the actual label before this goes bad. I'm not getting the reaction I want from the material I'm releasing with them." That right there was 50 waving the red flag. It was only a matter of time before he bounced. But it wasn't just music that caused the fallout. Business moves played a huge part too. See, 50 had launched his own headphone company, SMS Audio, and that became a serious point of tension between him and Interscope executive Jimmy Iovine. Why? Because Jimmy was also deep in the game with Beats Electronics, alongside Dr. Dre. In an interview with Funkmaster Flex on Hot 97, 50 spilled even more tea. He said Jimmy flat out told him, "I don't like you." And the reason? Competition. Jimmy saw SMS Audio as a direct threat to Beats. According to 50, he'd get excited and say, "You created a competitive company. You are the competition." So yeah, this wasn't just label beef, it was business beef on a billion-dollar level. Then came the tipping point. Apple bought Beats Electronics for a mind-blowing $3 billion in May. That deal changed everything. Right after the acquisition, 50 officially cut ties with Interscope and signed a new distribution deal with Capitol. Meanwhile, Jimmy Iovine left Interscope too. That moment marked the end of one of hip-hop's most complicated business relationships. But 50 wasn't about to slow down. With the Interscope chapter closed, he jumped straight into the next saga, another fierce rap beef, this time with none other than Cam'ron. This wasn't just a casual diss track situation. Nah, this was classic New York rap tension. Cam and 50 both came with heat, going back and forth with savage insults and wild interviews. The drama was thick, and fans were loving every second of it. The war of words was explosive. No filters, no limits, just two giants in the game going at each other's necks. And if you know 50 Cent, you know this was just another page in his never-ending playbook of beef, business, and bold moves. The chaos kicked off when 50 Cent came out swinging, this time aiming straight at Coke Entertainment, now known as E1. With no hesitation, 50 boldly claimed that he could shut down any project they put out, no matter who was involved. That slick comment didn't sit well with Coke's then general manager, Alan Grunblatt, aka Alan G.R. Black. And instead of brushing it off, Alan decided to check 50 live during an interview on Hot 97. What started as a label call-out turned into a full-blown war of words, and Cam'ron jumped right into the ring. The debate heated up quick, with Cam and 50 sparring over the success of G-Unit's artists and the status of Coke as a so-called graveyard label. Cam'ron, clearly fired up, kept jabbing at 50 by using his government name, Curtis, with that loud, mocking tone that had everyone talking. Not long after that radio clash, 50 clapped back with a diss track called Funeral Music, and it was nasty. He came straight for Cam with bars designed to bury reputations. Cam'ron, never the type to fold, dropped his own rebuttal, Curtis. The back and forth was on, and fans were hooked. The feud exploded online, dominating blogs, radio shows, and hip-hop forums. Then, just as things were reaching their peak, Cam'ron suddenly vanished from the spotlight. Months passed, and people were wondering what happened, until Cam revealed the real reason for his silence. He had moved to Florida to take care of his mother, who had suffered 3 strokes. That personal moment pulled him away from the beef, and fans respected it. Meanwhile, 50 Cent kept the fire burning. He brought Dipset members Jules Santana and Jim Jones on stage to perform We Fly High, clearly trying to throw shade by aligning with Cam's own crew. Then came the biggest jab, naming his next album Curtis, turning the mockery into marketing. Eventually, though, things cooled off. By 2011, Cam'ron confirmed in an interview that there was no more drama between him and 50. He said it was water under the bridge, and they'd moved past what he called their little disagreement. But just when one beef ended, another popped up, and this one turned dark. Enter Rick Ross. The feud between 50 Cent and Rick Ross took things to a whole new level, and not in a good way. What started as the usual rap shots turned deeply personal, dragging in families and innocent people who had nothing to do with the music. Things hit rock bottom when Shaniqua Tompkins, the mother of 50's son, was forced to evacuate a house in Long Island, property that 50 actually owned. Not long after that, the home mysteriously burned down in a fire. The incident shocked everyone, and while no one was officially blamed, the whole situation left people shaken. This beef wasn't just about lyrics anymore. It was real-life drama with real-world consequences, and it showed just how far these battles can go when they leave the booth and hit the streets. Rick Ross didn't waste a second flipping the script. He threw major shade at 50 Cent in his track Mafia Music, rapping about burning houses and covering bills in a clear shot at 50's Long Island mansion situation. That line alone had folks buzzing, especially since the fire had just gone down under some seriously suspicious circumstances. But 50 wasn't about to let that slide. He came back hard, using the internet as his battlefield. On his own website, thisis50.com, he dropped an interview with Tia Kemp, Rick Ross's baby mother, and the internet exploded. In that video, Kemp confirmed the one thing Ross had tried to hide for years, his past working as a correctional officer. Boom. That one reveal flipped the entire image Ross had built. 50 turned it into a whole campaign, mocking Ross for trying to pose as a street boss while once rocking a badge. And 50 didn't stop there. He took Kemp on a full-blown shopping spree down Fifth Avenue in New York, recording it all for the world to see. The message was clear. He was hitting Ross where it hurt: his image, his pride, and his personal life. Then came the legendary trolling. 50 introduced the world to Officer Ricky, a cartoonish character based on Ross's past. He went all in, dropping videos, memes, and merch clowning Ross for his CO background. In response, Ross fired back with a character of his own, calling 50 curly, mocking his look and trying to flip the narrative. Despite all the fiery bars, threats to end each other's careers, and headline-worthy antics, the feud started to fade out. Fans eventually got bored, and without major music moments to back it up, the beef fizzled. Both rappers kept dropping music, but the drama just didn't hit the same over time. Now, if you thought that was wild, wait until we talk about the 50 Cent versus Ja Rule beef, the ultimate rap war. Unlike most hip-hop feuds that live on wax or social media, this one was straight up personal. This was no back and forth over Twitter. Nah, this was fists, street fights, and real violence. It wasn't just a rap beef, it was war. The tension between 50 Cent and Ja Rule started way before the diss tracks. It kicked off with actual run-ins on the streets of Queens, real fights, real threats, and serious bad blood. These two didn't just dislike each other, they wanted each other gone from the game. From there, it turned into a full-on lyrical assault. Diss tracks flew nonstop. 50's Wanksta and Back Down weren't just hits, they were weapons. Ja Rule fired back with tracks of his own, but 50 had already changed the public's perception. He painted Ja as soft, fake, and irrelevant, and fans ran with it. This feud wasn't about clout, it was personal, ugly, and unforgettable. And to this day, it's one of the most legendary rivalries in rap history. The clash between 50 Cent and Ja Rule was way deeper than a few diss tracks. It was the kind of beef that bled off the mic and into the streets. Before the drama even popped off, 50 was just another hungry rapper from Queens trying to break into the game. But that all changed in 1999 when he dropped one of the boldest debut tracks hip-hop had ever heard, How to Rob. That song was straight savage. 50 called out everybody. Jay-Z, Mace, DMX, Big Pun. Nobody was safe. It was risky, it was raw, and it worked. Just like that, 50's name was buzzing across the industry. People didn't know whether to laugh, diss back, or watch their chains. Meanwhile, Ja Rule was already rising to the top. That same year, he dropped his debut album, Veni Vedi Veci, and it boomed. His single, Holla Holla, was everywhere, and his blend of street grit with melodic hooks made him one of NYC's new superstars. He had Murder Inc. behind him, the radio on lock, and fans eating up every hook he sang. Now here's where it gets messy. The exact spark that lit the fuse between 50 and Ja has always been debated, but one story keeps coming up. According to 50 Cent, and as he laid out in his 2005 autobiography From Pieces to Weight, the drama started after Ja Rule got robbed for his chain in Southside Jamaica, Queens. 50 claims the guy who snatched Ja's chain was actually one of his close friends. That alone created tension. But it didn't end there. Another dude, known as Brown, supposedly stepped in and got the chain back for Ja, trying to squash the situation. But the damage had already been done. Not long after that, Ja ran into 50 in a club. Now, 50 wasn't rolling solo. He was with the same dude who had allegedly jacked Ja's chain. 50 says he walked over to Ja to say what's up, just being cool, but Ja wasn't having it. He gave 50 that look, that energy, like there was a real problem. From that moment, the beef was on. 50 made it clear he wasn't the one who did the robbery, but it didn't matter to Ja Rule. Just being affiliated with the chain snatcher was enough to set off years of hostility. What followed would turn into one of the most toxic, explosive, and unforgettable feuds hip-hop has ever seen. This wasn't just a music rivalry, it was street-level tension with real consequences. And it was just getting started. While 50 Cent says the beef with Ja Rule kicked off over that infamous chain-snatching incident, Ja's version of the story hits different. According to Ja, the chain robbery did happen, but he swears he never saw 50 with the dude who actually did it. In his eyes, that whole story was just a smokescreen. Ja Rule says the real beef started way before the chain drama. He claims it all began with what 50 saw as a straight-up disrespect, a cold shoulder from the Murder Inc. crew. Ja says during the video shoot for his track, Murder for Life, 50 showed up hoping to be a part of the shoot and maybe even work his way into a deal with Murder Inc. But that never happened. According to Ja, Irv Gotti, the head of Murder Inc., and the rest of the crew gave 50 the freeze. They straight ignored him. 50 wasn't invited on set, wasn't shown any love, and definitely wasn't offered a seat at the table. For Ja, that moment when 50 got iced out was what really sparked the resentment. He believes 50 felt bitter over missing what could have been his big break with a crew that was already heating up the charts. After that snub, 50 didn't waste time playing it cool. In October 1999, he dropped Life's on the Line, a gritty track meant to shake things up. The song never mentioned Ja by name, but 50 straight up mocked Murder Inc.'s murder chant all throughout the hook. No need to guess who he was talking about. Even though Life's on the Line only reached number 37 on the Billboard Hot Rap Singles chart, it made noise in the streets. But let's be real, it couldn't touch the numbers Ja was pulling at the time. His debut album, Veni Vedi Veci, had already gone platinum, and Holla Holla was running the airwaves. Ja was climbing fast while 50 was still fighting to get his spot. But things turned violent when both rappers ended up booked at the same club in Atlanta in 2000. With that much tension in the air, it didn't take long for it to pop off. The two crews ran into each other and a shouting match turned into a straight-up brawl. Chains were flying, punches were thrown, and by the end of it, both rappers were missing jewelry. Word on the street? 50's crew allegedly snatched Ja Rule's pendant during the fight. This was no longer just a lyrical war. It had turned physical. And once that line got crossed, there was no turning back. The beef was official, and it was only going to get nastier from here. According to 50 Cent, after the Atlanta club brawl left Ja Rule without his chain, a wild deal was supposedly made. Ja would get his pendant back in exchange for a Movado watch. Yep, you heard that right. 50 claims the swap went down like some street-level pawn deal. But Ja Rule, he completely denies that ever happened, calling the whole story a lie. But that wasn't the end of their violent encounters, not even close. A few months later, things got even uglier when another fight broke out between the two, this time in a New York City recording studio. And it wasn't just shouting, this one got bloody. 50 Cent ended up with a stab wound, and Ja Rule, along with one of his friends, was arrested in connection with the altercation. This was beyond rap battles. This was turning into a full-on war. Their rivalry hit its most iconic and brutal chapter in the early 2000s when both artists were at the top of their game. Instead of settling their issues in private, they went straight to the mic and let the world hear every punch. What followed was one of the most intense rap beefs the genre had ever seen. Ja Rule fired shots first with Loose Change, a track that name-dropped several rappers and took aim at 50 with pure venom. But 50? He came back 10 times harder. His response, Back Down, was sharp, cold, and loaded with bars meant to end careers. These weren't just diss tracks for sport, these songs hurt. And it wasn't just about music, it was about reputation, image, and dominance. 50 Cent focused on exposing Ja Rule. He painted him as a poser, someone pretending to be gangster while singing love ballads. He clowned Ja's style, questioned his street credentials, and turned him into a punchline. For a rapper like Ja, who built his brand on street credibility and tough melodies, that kind of attack was deadly, and it worked. 50's relentless jabs stripped away Ja Rule's momentum. The public turned. Fans who once vibed to Always on Time and Put It On Me started clowning Ja for being soft. His album sales dipped, his presence in hip-hop started fading, the hits dried up, and the image Ja had built over years started crumbling. Meanwhile, 50 Cent was going up. With tracks like Wanksta and In Da Club setting radio on fire, he was unstoppable. He had the streets, the charts, and the media all on his side. His bars were sharp, his persona was bulletproof, and his feud with Ja Rule, it became a major part of his rise to rap dominance. 50 didn't just win the beef, he used it to skyrocket his own legacy. While Ja Rule struggled to reclaim his spot, 50 became a global icon. And in the history of hip-hop battles, their war remains one of the most ruthless, career-shifting feuds of all time. The non-stop shots, public mockery, and savage disses eventually took a heavy toll on Ja Rule's career. No matter how hard he tried to bounce back with new tracks and fresh energy, he just couldn't catch that same fire he once had before locking horns with 50 Cent. The momentum was gone and the industry had shifted. His name, once at the top of the charts, became tangled in beef headlines and online jokes. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's rise was unstoppable. His debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', wasn't just successful, it was historic. The project exploded onto the scene, and the lead single, In Da Club, became a cultural anthem. That track alone turned 50 from a street star to a global icon. He didn't stop at music either. He kept leveling up, dropping hit after hit, teaming up with major artists, and stacking his empire brick by brick. He branched out into film, TV, and business like a boss. From his acting moves in movies and his game-changing series Power to his smart business deals with Vitamin Water and beyond, 50 showed he wasn't just a rapper, he was a mogul. Now, despite a few quiet moments and even hints of peace, the beef with Ja Rule never really died. In 2013, Ja opened up in a Hot 97 interview and admitted it. He felt like he lost the war with 50. It was honest, real, but just when people thought the drama was buried, 50 did what he does best. He brought it back. In true troll fashion, 50 reignited the feud the very next year by dissing Ja live on stage. And after that, it was back to the usual petty antics. One of the most savage moves, 50 bought 200 front row tickets to a Ja Rule concert just to make sure those seats stayed empty. Then he posted about it, laughing and clowning Ja all over social media. Their feud became more than just music, it became legendary. A saga of ego, street pride, and non-stop trolling that left a lasting mark on hip-hop history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of rap's most infamous rivalries, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more wild hip-hop breakdowns and celebrity drama. Hit that bell so you never miss a moment, and we'll catch you on the next one.